If you are concerned about having tough conversations with friends and family members during the holidays, watch this video. Nicole and I are going to give you some ideas. But before we really get into it, jump over to selfcaretips.org/free guide and check out our free guide on how to take care of yourself through the holidays and all the time. So hi, Nicole.
Hello.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, same with you.
Yeah, so this topic is a good one, and our colleague and intern Leah was the one that suggested it because she has been feeling very stressed about the holidays, and I don't know about you, but I could totally relate when she said that.
Yes, I'm right there with you guys.
Yeah, there's always tough conversations to be had with family and friends around the holidays, but they feel very different this year.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, we think of having like a lot of tough conversations when we're with our families on the holiday. This year, it feels like we're also having tough conversations of what the holidays are going to look like.
Right.
Covering what like people's wishes and also thinking about like how we want to spend the holidays too.
Yeah. Where are we going to be? Are we going to wear masks, right? Are there things we shouldn't talk about, i.e. politics? Are there things we should talk about, i.e. politics? Right. So
right.
All of these things that are going and gifts, right? Are we exchanging gifts? A lot of us are not working. And so we have all these questions going on in our minds, and I'm wondering how many people have actually broached the topics with friends and family members. So for folks watching this, I would love for you to comment. What are the things you're worried about, and have you actually talked to any of your family members yet? How did it go?
Yeah, I would like some tips.
Yes. Yeah, you teach us this time. But no, you actually had some really great insights when we were preparing for this earlier. You said that we need to be true to ourselves, right? Like we have to be authentic and really express what's going on for us honestly. You touched on boundaries, right? So knowing when to say, okay, that's not something I'm willing to do. And in terms of the honesty, like I wanted to add, we need to be relentlessly honest about articulating our emotions, because there's no point in having this conversation if we don't like go deep and get real about it. And I'm always the one saying, let's talk about our emotions because I'm that therapist.
No, like when I was thinking of just conversations in general that have been difficult with family, friends, even with clients, right? A lot of times what really the bare bones of it is honesty and authenticity and being genuine to yourself in the conversation you're having with the person that you're talking to. Mm-hmm. Like you're saying, like if you're not able to be honest or feeling like you're staying true to yourself, then the conversation isn't going to go in the way that you would want it to go, right? Mm-hmm. And especially with things going on right now, it's even harder to hold those boundaries and lines because of, we want to see our family. We want to be able to do things that we've been able to do in the past few years of celebrating the holidays. But at the end of the day, like there are things that also have to come into consideration this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There are two tough conversations that I think a lot of people are wondering how to have. One is about masks. Yeah. And the other is about gifts.
Yeah. It's like one is, when you think of the holidays, you don't usually think about masks, and there is an emphasis on gifts, right? And this year, masks are very much in the forefront of everything, and gifts are harder to think about and talk about, especially with so many people having bouts of unemployment through the past few months, and now knowing with some of the restrictions that have been put on Pennsylvania that the next 3 weeks at least are going to look different for a lot of people.
Right.
And it's hard to have that conversation of like, hey, maybe this year we do something small, or we do something homemade. Like for me, that's my route. I'm going homemade because I want to be able to give something to somebody, but at the same time, I know that I wouldn't want to give something overly not like expensive, but like having such a monetary value on it if somebody else is struggling to do the same thing for other people. Which is, and finances are always a difficult conversation to have in general. But yeah, it's just overall hard.
Yeah. Yes. And hard for us, and hard. Yeah. Like, I have so much empathy for everyone stuck in this kind of situation right now. So let's role play. Let's show people what a tough conversation could look like.
Okay.
Are we doing masks or are we doing gifts?
Let's go masks.
Masks. Okay. And just for people watching, we didn't script this, so we're gonna see how it goes. So okay, yeah. So Nicole, I need to talk to you about what's going on for the holidays.
Hey, yeah, sure. What's up?
Well, first of all, I miss you, and you know, with the quarantine, I'm sad that we have to stick to Zoom every time we interact. So I just want to like put that out there. First of all, I really do miss you, and I'm sad about having to do this.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm thinking it's not a good idea for us to get together in person for Christmas, for New Year's either. And that's just because I'm really worried about COVID, and I know that it's hard for folks to always keep their masks on. And I know you're really good about masks, but I think in general, it's better for us to stay distant at this time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it really stinks to hear that, because I was looking forward to being able to see people, for the holidays, but I understand, like, it is really dangerous right now, with like the surge and everything, and it is getting colder, so standing outside is not exactly the easiest thing. So okay, I understand.
Are you mad?
No, I'm not mad at you. I mean, it's a frustrating just time to be right now. So I can't get mad at you. I'm more mad at, COVID than anything.
I am mad at COVID. I'm not role playing. Oh man, actually, that felt really good to have that conversation.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny in the sense of like, it's kind of cathartic to be able to talk about it on here, but also getting like it out there in case I have to have this conversation. I know I'm gonna have to have this conversation at some point.
Yeah.
And make the decision myself of like what is good for me and my family. We're right. Like, COVID sucks. Like it does, and it's something that everyone is really feeling right now. So it's also kind of nice to show that like it's no one's alone, and feel that it's just like a really crappy time.
Yeah. When I'm working with couples or with families, I often try to help them reframe their sort of approach to the problem and think of it not as like you against me, right, with this issue that I've got that I'm going to talk to you about, but it's you and me against this problem. And like, we're going to work together to face whatever challenge is in front of us. And even though we might have slightly different ideas or values about it, we're still a team.
Yep.
And that's a little bit what that felt like right there. Like, yeah, we wish that we could get together, but the problem isn't me saying I'm not going to come visit you. The problem is COVID-19. It's dangerous. This is what we got to do.
Absolutely. And I think there's that, where we're talking about like being honest and having that authenticity of, like recognizing that this situation is pain and that none of us are liking this. But we are, as cliche, and I know it's been said like everywhere, but like we are really in it together, and you know, people are in varying degrees of feeling what this pandemic has been like.
Yeah.
And just really, you know, being there for everybody, and not, you know, it's hard to not take it personally when a family member is like, hey, like, sorry, we can't do this year, but at the same time, kind of seeing it from that broader scope.
You know, I'm thinking about like some of the people in our audience and some of the folks that want to come to us for therapy. It's not as cut and dry as the role play we just did, because some people don't believe masks are necessary, and some people don't have a concern or a fear of COVID-19, and they want to just keep the restaurants open and not wear masks and just keep living their lives, right?
Right.
And so if we're trying to have a tough conversation like that, and we have different ideas about COVID, I'm wondering if we can just unpack that a little bit. Like maybe we can deal with that as well.
Yeah, no, and I think that's where boundaries really comes into play. I think that a lot of us are, especially on like social media and seeing on like the news, are just going out to the grocery store for 2 seconds and kind of witnessing some things of people having those differences of opinions. It's hard, especially if it's from like family or friends, right? People that we have close to ourselves. But having that boundary of, you know, this is something that, you know, if when it comes to wearing masks, like not having to, like any other situation, not putting, oh my goodness, words. Like putting aside what you're thinking of to try and, like compromise the situation, right? If it's something that you're truly believing in of wearing masks or socially distancing or not going to the restaurant, right? Like those kinds of things. If that's something that you really truly believe in and are being honest about, then still holding that boundary with that person.
Right. And like you said, not making it personal. So, you know, Nicole, I know you really want me to come to your Christmas party, and I respect, you know, your opinion, but I feel that COVID is too dangerous for me and my family. And so I love you, I miss you, but I won't be coming to your party. Is there some way that we can stay connected, you know, through Zoom or through, you know, maybe we can send some old-fashioned gifts? Is there another way that we can maintain our friendship?
Right. No, and I think that's like a perfect way of showing like what a boundary can look like.
Yeah. As an aside, Nicole's not having a Christmas party, right?
Oh, no, not having a party, but for like, you know, some places of, yeah, like, you know, we are related, and you know, and we can always all come to the house together. If you feel like that's something that's not comfortable, then, you know, it's in your full right to be able to say like, no, and again, it relates to a lot of other conversations that are had around the holidays with family of like, yeah, like, no, I don't really want to talk about this. Or I know for a lot of clients that I've worked with, like with eating disorders, right? Of, hey, you know, could you not mention about like what's on my plate? Like that's making me uncomfortable. Kinds of conversations. So it's definitely something that's universal that happens, especially around holidays, because you're seeing a lot of people. But for this like day and age, it's just, there's certain polarized topics that are, you know, difficult to navigate.
Yeah. Yes. So my recommendation to folks is to think about the conversation in advance. Really work to identify your own thoughts, feelings, and decisions around the matter. And people who work with me in the counseling room, they hear me talk about that all the time. You know, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I deciding? You make the connection between your cognitions, your emotions, and your behavior. So think it through, write it down in advance. And then if you want to, practice having the tough conversation with someone that you feel safe around, right? Whether that's a partner or a best friend, a counselor, whomever, like call someone and say, I want to bounce this off you real quick. And just like we did in our role play right there, you'll probably feel better after doing that.
Yeah, no, and I think my takeaway is really just keeping that authenticity and honesty, and having the conversation. It's a tough conversation to have for a lot of people, but for your sake and for your loved one's sake, it's a conversation that's needed.
Yeah. Yeah. So once again, go to selfcaretips.org/free guide if you want to check out what we have to say about taking care of yourself through the holidays. And until next time, thank you so much.
See you later.
Bye.